Hello everyone, good afternoon everyone, bonjour tout le monde, minasan konnichiwa. Today's live, I would like to answer to one of the questions I received in one of my story. I asked the question, what would you like to ask me? What question do you have for me? And I have a question from Pascal Napoli, a dear friend of mine, who teaches Japanese. And who is a great teacher, by the way. Hello, Natalie! And his question was, how do I navigate between different cultures? And I think that's the perfect timing, Natalie, because you really know what I'm talking about, navigating between two cultures. And he asked how I navigate between two cultures. And I would like to talk about what it's like to have two cultures within me, because for those of you who know or don't know, I am French and Japanese, and not only I have two cultures in me, I lived in both countries. So I would say it's another layer, because when you live in the country, you also have the experience of the culture of the country. I lived during 9 years in Tokyo, and the rest, thank you, you have the same question, Natalie, so that's perfect. I lived in both countries, and my mother is Japanese, my father is French, so I also spoke both languages growing up. And to me, that's the first part of the question. How do I navigate between two cultures within me? And more and more people are like me. We have different cultures, parents from different cultures. It's more and more common, right, to have multicultural family. It's also more and more common to live abroad, to live in a country where we were not born, so which is my case as well. So to me, I would say it's been challenging for many years to have both cultures. I didn't really see at the beginning the gift in that growing up. I was always feeling different. I felt like, should I be more French or should I be more Japanese? And especially when I would live in Japan during 9 years, I was trying to fit in the box of being Japanese. So I did my hardest to be like Japanese, because I wanted to be like others. It's like when you're a child or when you're a teenager, it's so important, right, to belong. Coucou Valérie, and it speaks to you too, because you're French and Japanese. So there is no coincidence why you are here too, Valérie. And I'm curious to hear from you too, Valérie and Nathalie as well. How does it resonate with you? And so I would say, and you can relate to that, Valérie, yes, of course. So it's like I didn't see it as a gift. And also when I came back at 15 years old to France, that's age where, at 15, can you imagine, as a teenager, you want to be like others. So suddenly I had to shift my identity, because until 15, I became Japanese. My way of thinking, my way of communicating, my way of my clothing, I would dress more as a kawaii style. In Japan, it's good to be kawaii, cute. So I was wearing pink and a lot of colors, and that was I had a bubbly way of being. And when I arrived in France, in Paris, suddenly I could see everybody wearing black and brown and being very like women. The women would be very like adult women. So for me, it was also this change of realizing, oh, I'm so different, what is wrong with me, things like that. So it took me many years, I would say, to realize that actually having two cultures is a gift. It took me some time, and that's why now for me it's so important to help our children. That is why I created the coaching program for our children called Yatta, because I want to help our children, especially the third culture kids, the cross-culture kids, especially children who grow up and navigate between different cultures. I want to help our children to have self-confidence in them, because being different is a strength. Today I feel so grateful around having those two cultures. And even though for many years I thought, what's wrong with me? I have a different personalities. I do style switching. In a cross-cultural term, we talk about style switching. It's when you switch your style. When I'm with French, I become French. When I'm with Japanese, I become Japanese. There is a technical term for that called style switching or code switching. That's something I do naturally. It's like a chameleon. I have this ability to become a chameleon. So I have this ability to adjust easily to any culture. So that's my power. And that's the power of, I think, many people who navigate through different cultures. I would love to read you too, Valérie and Nathalie, if you have this ability to switch from one culture to another. I can't wait for my kids to be old enough to follow a program. I feel that it would be such a gift to them. Thank you, Valérie. Thank you so much. Yes, it's my passion really to help our children, and I've just started a coaching with a 14 years old girl, and I'm so happy to help her in this journey of getting more self-confidence, because our children, when they are confident in themselves, they become happier adults. That's my true belief. I wish I learned that earlier. Actually, I learned to love myself, and it's still a journey, at only 30 years old. When I became around 30 years old, I started to work on my personal development, and I start to really love myself. And it's still a journey. There are some days where I feel like, I have so much to do, especially now that I am in the US. So that was the second part of my question. We can have different cultures within us, but we can also have different cultures outside of us. Right now, I live in the US. And Natalie, what I feel like having two personalities, and the feeling has increased since I started training adults English. During the day, I constantly switch between English and French. Yes. And I totally relate to that too, Natalie. For me also, it's been my feeling, having different personalities, and I have judged myself for that. But now it's almost like, okay, I think it's a balance between switching, adapting, and also through language, because you teach English, right, Natalie? So, and I have the belief that I'm a strong believer that when we speak a different language, and we talked about that too, Natalie, when we talk a different language, hello, Pim, when we speak a language, we also change our personality, because the culture goes through the language. And Pim, you can relate to that too. You're from Thailand and you live in the US now for more than 30 years, I believe. So I'm curious to hear from you too, Pim. What is your take on that? Like, how do you navigate between two cultures? And when you speak Thai, do you feel more Thai? And when you speak English, do you feel more American? Because I also know you have the American citizenship now. So it's also that. And for me, I live in the US for the past 7 years, and I still don't feel American, right? It's like each experience is like a puzzle. I like to see that as a puzzle. I take some piece of the puzzle from the American cultures and I keep it in me, in my heart. Parts that I love, parts that I want to embrace, like the positive attitude, like in the US, like the optimism, like the public speaking skills, the confidence people have in them. There are some pieces from the American culture that I want to keep in my heart, and I know they're becoming part of me. And they're part of the Japanese culture that I keep in my heart too, like the stay humble, respect for elderly people, respect, the sense of service, the fact that we listen more than we speak. There are so many things that I embrace that are part of me. The French aspect also, like the fact that we like beautiful things, and there is this the fact that we like to take time to analyze. Sometimes we can say French or have a critical mind, because we like to take a time to see the right and the wrong, and to debate things like that. There are so many aspects of each culture that I take inside of me. And Valerie, you share with me, yes, it took some time for me to realize that it was a gift to have this multicultural background. At first, it was tough because I was trying so hard to fit in, and I sort of lost myself in the process. Yes, yes, yes. And Natalie, culture goes through language. Yes, definitely. And culture goes through so many things too: language, food, a way of communicating, way of behaving, way we dress up, so many things, right? And for me, it's always a balance between, and I had many discussions recently about that. When I go abroad, should I adapt 100% to the place I am in, or should I stay myself? And I think there is no right or wrong answer in that, because if you adjust 100% to the place, you can lose yourself. And if, on the other hand, you stay yourself no matter what, that also sounds not totally right to me, because when you adapt to the culture where you live in, it's also a mark of respect. It shows respect. It's like when you go abroad and you don't try to learn a word of, you don't try to learn the language, even one word. To me, it's not a sign of respect. It's like, let's try to learn a few words. Let's try to, the food, let's try to understand local people. So I think it's always, to me, a balance between adjusting to the new environment, to other cultures, while staying true to myself. And I think that's the toughest question when we have different cultures, because it's, the question is who I am, who am I, who am I? Am I French? I am Japanese? Am I American? What am I? Like, that's the toughest question, I think, when we are third culture kid or third culture adult, because we can become third culture adult, right? When we move abroad as an adult, as an expat, when we're adult, we become a third culture adult. So, and yes, that's the trick, I believe, says Valerie, to make your own recipe. Take what you feel it's right for you from all cultures and make it your own. And I love this analogy, Valerie. I also like to compare it as a recipe all the time. I talk about that too. It's like we make our own recipe. We put the ingredients that we like. We adjust, we mix, we remove some of them. It's like it's a constantly evolving. And good news, it's like we are going to evolve until the last day of our life, hopefully, because otherwise it's boring, right? We will evolve and learn and grow, and let's see where it brings us. But I hope this video inspired you wherever you are in your journey, living abroad, moving abroad, growing up between different cultures, or having children who are growing up between different cultures, because sometimes that can be the challenge when ourselves we haven't experienced that and our children are experiencing it. We can be lost too, because we can't relate to what they're living. So wherever you are in your journey, just know that it is a constantly evolving journey. You're not alone. I'm here also to support you through different offers that I have. I won't talk about all of them today, but there is only one offer I would like to share with you today, which is my brand new offer, which is called A Blooming New Life. And this is the expat club, the one and only that exists, and it's going to begin in January. That's going to be a space to support every expats, every soon-to-be expat or currently expat for 1 or more years or many months, up to you. There is no limitation. And this is a place where each month you're going to learn about different topics: cross-cultural adjustment, stress management, work-life balance, raising multicultural children. Every month there will be a new topic around that, and there will be a place to support one another and to network between expats from all around the world. It's going to start in January, and it's going to be only $150 to join for the 1 year long membership. This is the first time I launch it, so it's only this price, but the price will probably change in 2023. If you want to know more, just ask any questions, and I'm happy to hop on a call to talk more about that. And yes, Valerie, I totally agree. It's so important to take the opportunity to be abroad, to learn new things and grow from what you learn. That's a true gift. Thank you, Yuko, for all this enlightening insight. Thank you, Valerie, for being here. It was a true gift to have you on this call because you can relate on this topic. And sending you all lots of love. Your differences make your strength. Believe in yourself. You're all beautiful. Sending you lots of love. Bye bye. Sayonara. Mata ne. Bye bye. Au revoir.